Sandy, it is such a thrill to have you back at SCAD, and congratulations on being the inaugural recipient of the Variety Award here at the SCAD Savannah Film Festival.
Thank you, thank you.
I heard you say that you only accept films that you want to see. Can you think of some of the ones that have been most satisfying to you upon completion that you would like to see?
I actually say that I would pay money to see that, Stephen.
Okay.
So I would only work on a film I would pay money to see, which means I really want to see it. Wolf of Wall Street, there. I read the script and I think, whoa, this is kind of difficult. This character is so objectionable, so awful. The only way it can work is if it's a comedy, which of course it ended up being, but you couldn't tell at the time.
No.
But I think it's a fantastic film. And I've actually grown to like it more and more each time I've seen it. Some of these are some of my favourites. I mean, okay, Carol there, obviously, I think is one of my favourites, absolutely. It's almost like the perfect film. I mean, everything about it was perfect. The mood, the feeling, it was just beautiful. It was sort of, the perfect film. Irishman I haven't seen since it came out. That was epic. I mean, and that was just, extraordinary simply to work with all of those people.
I think that the costume designer must be one of the first people to read the script because, you have to plan out the scenes and what the characters are going to be wearing. So you're really in on the ground floor of how this is going to evolve and how it's going to look eventually.
That's true. Costume design and production design, we sort of start at the same time. Way ahead of makeup and hair, for instance, because usually the makeup and hair designers come in sort of somewhere towards the latter half of the preparation period where the costume designers already sort of made a headway with the characters. So in an ideal world, the hair and makeup people come in and then work with the costume designer on what we've already achieved with the actors. But yeah, we do start very early on in the process.
I was wondering, you mentioned the production designers and the way the costume looks in the setting. That's so important.
It's really important.
Because the clothes aren't in isolation, they're in a setting.
Yeah, I mean, I also think not just the setting, but who else is in the scene.
Yes.
So you don't think of a character or an actor in isolation. You don't think of what they're wearing just on their own. You have to think, well, hang on, what else is happening? Who else is in the scene? What you're doing with a costume is making that character believable, bringing that character to life. We're given an actor, a body. And the way that I work is I will try lots of different things on. Put something on, someone say, no, take that off, that's rubbish. That's interesting. Let's pursue that. It's a bit like you're searching for the character. The character appears in the fitting room, and there is a moment when you know it's there, and the actor does. And that's the moment that you're all aiming to achieve.
You have a very intimate working relationship with the actors. They must come to trust you very deeply.
I think that's one of the most important things. I mean, that's what I always say is the most important thing you've got to do when you meet an actor is you have to get their trust as quickly as possible. Because if you don't, or if you lose their trust, it's really difficult to get it back.
You're helping them do their job.
Yeah, you are. But I mean, we know that. but sometimes you have to remind actors that that's what you're doing. When an actor forgets that they are playing somebody else, that they're not being them, because, everybody does it. They'll put something on and they think, oh, this doesn't suit me, I wouldn't wear this. No, you wouldn't wear, you're not wearing this. Your character is wearing this.
You mentioned that you like knowing who the actors are before you begin designing. Some of them you've worked with several times.
I think it's really, really helpful to have worked with an actor more than once. And it's always great if it's an actor that you like and you're working with them again, they are immediately relaxed around you. And you can work a lot quicker and get a lot more done because they're relaxed. If you've had a pleasant experience and successful experience in the past, it's gonna make the whole job a lot easier.
But it's all about communication. Everything's about communication. Our work is about communication. It's working with other people. The reason I chose to do costume and work in theatre and film was because I enjoy the collaborations. So within film, you're working with the production designer, you're working with the cinematographer, you're working with the hair and makeup people, and that's what I find interesting and inspiring.
You mentioned that there was a need for people to work with you. What sort of skills would you be looking for?
I mean, everybody wants to be the designer. I mean, I can look at people or meet people and think, you're not going to be a designer, but you're going to be a fantastic supervisor or a fantastic assistant. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's as important and as valid.
Exactly. You mentioned the tailoring and the cutting, aging and dyeing, I imagine, buying.
The number of people in the department, yeah. I mean, well, it will start with myself, the supervisor, and my number one assistant. And quite often the number one assistant is somebody who's been around as long as I have. Then the buyer. The buyer is a really crucial person because they're quite often responsible for bringing you things that you wouldn't even have thought of. So you might send somebody out to look for one thing, and my definition of a good buyer is someone who comes back and says, well, I couldn't find that, but I found this. And that did happen on Gangs of New York, actually. One day my buyer came into my office and she dumped this huge tent, army tent, on the floor. And I said, wow, what's that? She said, it's an army tent, but the colours are really great. It might be interesting for something. Well, that army tent turned into Daniel Day-Lewis's long, full-length coat that he wears in the battle scene. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the importance of a buyer.
Really enjoyed getting to know you, Sandy, and I hope you'll be back again and again.
I hope so.
Thank you for spending time with our students.
Thank you for organising it.
Yeah.